from Scrappiness. I have a video to share with you today that shows you how I make my ink swatch booklets. I just use any old binder like this one that I have here and these little divided page protectors, and I put my swatches inside of each of those little slots and I store them by color. So that way when I need a specific color for a stamping project, I can just flip through and pick which one I want. So the swatches that I use are these right here, and as you can see it shows the color and then the manufacturer, and you can download them already pre-typed out, or you can get a blank one, which is what I do, and then type in the names yourself. Now these are from jennifermcguireinc.com, and I will have a link to her website in the description box below. And the labels that I put on my ink pads are from Planet Label, and this is what they look like. And I just put the manufacturer and then the name of the ink color. Here's all the information for the labels if you want to buy them, but there, like I said, there'll be a link to them in the description box. This is the stamp that I use to make my ink swatches, and this is called Swatches by Scrappiness, and it has several shapes in there. All of them will fit on the ink swatch squares. So as you can see when I open it, it's got several different shapes. One of them you can use, it's got 3 squares and they're open, so you can use those with like your Copic markers or your watercolor markers, whatever. And then there's a solid, square, rectangle, ink splat, circle, heart, and square star, sorry. And then there's an open circle. So if you're using ink pads, then I would use one of the solid ones, and I always choose to use the ink splat. This is my tidy towel, and this is how I clean my stamps when I'm stamping. And today I'm using Brutus Monroe stamp cleaner, which you can now get at Scrappiness. I also like Hero Art's Ultra Clean, and the new Nuvo stamp cleaner. That's really good too. They all three are very, very similar. The Brutus Monroe smells good, so that's why I usually use that one. So anyway, I'm going to show you how I make a couple labels here. I'm going to peel them off of the backer sheet and put them onto a non-stick sheet to stamp them. I don't always do this, but I just thought it would be easier for the purpose of this video. So I'm going to stick them one right underneath another, and then I'm going to take one of the swatch stamps, which is the rectangle. That's the one that I use to make my labels. I'm going to ink it up really good and then stamp it at the end of the label. So now you can see the color perfectly on the label. You've got the manufacturer, the ink color name, and then a sample of the ink. And then you just go ahead and take it and put it on the end of your ink pad, or on the long side, whichever side you store yours on. I store mine where they go with the short side in. So this way, no matter which way I put it in, there'll be a label at the end. That's why I make 2 of them. So now I'm just going to show you how I make them normally without the non-stick sheet. I just go ahead and stamp it on the ink swatch using the ink splat stamp, and then I go and do the labels with the rectangle. And I'm going to do a couple of these for you so you can see how it's done. So as you can see, I just go back and forth between the label and the ink swatch, or the ink swatch sheet, sorry. You can also do this with the Altenew ink pads, which are shaped a little differently. The labels stick a little strange, but if you use your finger and start at the bottom and go around, it will stick fine. It just looks a little funny because it's bunched up at the top. But they do work, and I'll show you that in just a second. So this is what the Altenew inks look like. And this is my ink pad swatch sheet completed. Thanks so much for watching, guys. At the end, I'm just going to show you a couple of things that you can do with this stamp set. If you have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you. I'm really sorry about the choppy editing, but it's been a long time since I edited a video, so I need to get back on that and practice a little more. So thanks for stopping by, and I will see you again soon. Bye.